The wind whispered through the towering trees as I ventured deeper into the heart of the dark and foreboding forest. The moon cast an eerie glow, casting long shadows that seemed to dance among the tangled undergrowth. A sense of unease settled upon me, as if unseen eyes were watching my every move. With each step, the sounds of civilization faded away, replaced by the symphony of nature's nocturnal creatures. The rustling of leaves underfoot sent shivers down my spine, amplifying the sense of isolation. I couldn't help but feel like an intruder in this untamed wilderness. As I pressed on, the dense foliage began to close in around me, forming an impenetrable wall of darkness. The once clear path became obscured, and I found myself stumbling through the underbrush, my heart pounding in my chest. Panic began to claw at my mind, urging me to turn back, but a morbid curiosity held me captive. Strange sounds echoed through the forest, their origins unknown. Whispers, like fleeting voices on the wind, taunted my senses. I strained to catch their words, but they remained elusive, their meaning lost in the night. A chill crawled up my spine, and a cold sweat dampened my brow. With every passing moment, the forest seemed to transform, taking on a life of its own. Twisted branches reached out like skeletal fingers, as if attempting to ensnare me. Shadows danced in the moonlight, their movements unnatural and sinister. I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched, stalked by an unseen presence. Lost and disoriented, I stumbled upon a clearing bathed in an ethereal glow. In its center stood an ancient, gnarled tree, its bark etched with symbols I couldn't decipher. A sense of dread washed over me, warning me to retreat, but something compelled me forward, toward the haunting spectacle. As I approached the tree, a voice whispered in my ear, a voice that seemed to come from within the very depths of the forest. It spoke in hushed tones, promising secrets and forbidden knowledge. Fear gripped my heart, but curiosity held me in its grip, urging me to listen. In a trance-like state, I reached out and touched the tree. The moment my fingers made contact, a surge of energy coursed through me, sending waves of terror and ecstasy intertwining. Visions flashed before my eyes, glimpses into the horrors that lay hidden within the forest's depths. Dark figures emerged from the shadows, their eyes gleaming with malevolence. They circled me, their whispers growing louder and more insistent. I tried to flee, but the forest had claimed me as its own. Branches snaked out, ensnaring my limbs, trapping me in its suffocating embrace. Time lost all meaning as the forest toyed with my sanity. Days blended into nights, and the line between reality and nightmare blurred beyond recognition. The forest became my prison, a place where the boundaries of fear and the supernatural converged. In the depths of my despair, a glimmer of hope emerged, a flickering light in the darkness. With every ounce of strength left within me, I fought against the forest's grip. I clawed my way through the undergrowth, ignoring the scratches and bruises that marred my skin. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, I emerged from the suffocating embrace of the forest. Gasping for air, I collapsed onto the ground, my body trembling with exhaustion. The moonlit path stretched out before me, leading me back to civilization. But the memories of that harrowing experience remain etched in my mind, a constant reminder of the sinister forces that lurk within the depths of the forest. I caution those who dare to venture into its realm, beware the allure of its shadows, for they may claim you as they claimed me. It was a moonless night as I ventured into the heart of the ancient forest. The towering trees loomed like silent sentinels, their gnarled branches reaching out like skeletal fingers. The forest floor was shrouded in darkness, save for the faint glow of my flashlight. Every step I took was met with an eerie silence, broken only by the rustling of leaves underfoot. The air hung heavy with a sense of foreboding, as if the forest itself held its breath, anticipating something sinister. As I delved deeper into the labyrinth of trees, I noticed a subtle shift in the atmosphere. The familiar sounds of nocturnal creatures gave way to an unsettling stillness. The forest seemed to hold its secrets close, whispering tales of forgotten spirits and ancient curses. My heart raced with a mixture of excitement and trepidation as I followed a narrow path, the only guide through the labyrinthine forest. Shadows danced along the tree trunks, playing tricks on my mind. I couldn't help but feel watched, as if unseen eyes were peering at me from the darkness. Suddenly, a soft voice carried on the wind, barely audible yet unmistakably human. It called my name, its tone laced with an otherworldly allure. Goosebumps prickled my skin as I hesitantly followed the ethereal sound, my curiosity overpowering my rational instincts. Branches twisted and formed grotesque shapes overhead, creating a macabre canopy. The path grew narrower, the trees closing in, as if the forest itself conspired to trap me within its clutches. The air grew colder, chilling me to the bone, as I ventured deeper into the heart of the enigma. The whispers grew louder, a chorus of disembodied voices intertwining with the rustling leaves. They spoke in a language unknown to me, their words laden with ancient sorrow. I couldn't comprehend their meaning, yet I was drawn deeper into their haunting melody. A flicker of light caught my attention in the distance, a beacon of hope amidst the encroaching darkness. I quickened my pace, each step accompanied by a symphony of cracking twigs and crunching leaves. The light grew brighter, illuminating a small clearing nestled among the trees. In the center of the clearing stood a dilapidated cabin, its wooden frame weathered by time. The air around it crackled with an otherworldly energy, sending a chill down my spine. A sense of both fascination and dread washed over me as I approached the decaying structure. The door creaked open, inviting me to step inside. Reluctantly, I crossed the threshold, my senses overwhelmed by the musty smell of decay. The interior was shrouded in shadows, the feeble moonlight struggling to penetrate the heavy curtains. As my eyes adjusted to the dimness, I noticed symbols etched into the walls, symbols of ancient rituals and forgotten knowledge. They pulsated with a faint glow, as if infused with a dark power. I couldn't tear my gaze away, as if they held the key to the mysteries of the forest. A gust of wind rattled the windows, causing the candle flames to flicker and dance. Whispers echoed through the cabin, growing in intensity. Shadows swirled and twisted, manifesting into ethereal forms that danced in the corners of my vision. Fear gripped my heart as the whispers coalesced into a cacophony of voices, their words incomprehensible yet laden with menace. The cabin seemed to come alive, its very essence pulsating with a malevolent energy. I realized I had stumbled upon something beyond my comprehension, something ancient and hungry. With a surge of adrenaline, I turned and fled from the cabin, the forest swallowing me whole. I ran blindly, branches clawing at my skin, the cries of unseen creatures echoing in my ears. The forest seemed to shift and change around me, a labyrinth that refused to release its prey. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, I burst through the tree line and into an open meadow. Gasping for breath, I collapsed onto the grass, my body trembling with a mix of exhaustion and relief. The moon emerged from behind the clouds, casting its gentle glow upon the scene, as if to reassure me that I had escaped the clutches of the forest's dark enchantment. To this day, I bear the scars of that haunting encounter. The memory of the forest's secrets lingers, a constant reminder of the boundary between our world and the unknown. I caution those who dare to wander into the depths of the woods, for the shadows hold a darkness that hungers for souls. It was a cold winter day when I set out into the mountains in search of adventure. The melting snow crunched beneath my boots, and the icy wind seeped through every crevice in my clothing. I ascended higher and higher, the rugged terrain challenging my every step. The mountain forest stretched out before me, its ancient trees standing tall and proud, their branches laden with snow. As I ventured deeper, an eerie silence fell upon the landscape, broken only by the occasional creaking of the trees or the distant howling of the wind. The forest had an air of mystery, as if it held secrets that whispered through the pines. I couldn't help but feel a sense of unease, as if unseen eyes watched my every move. But the allure of the unknown drew me further into its depths, curiosity overpowering my trepidation. The path ahead became steep and treacherous, and the daylight waned as the sun dipped below the mountain peaks. Shadows danced among the trees, elongated and twisted by the fading light. A chill ran down my spine, and I quickened my pace, eager to reach the safety of a campsite I had marked on my map. As darkness descended, I switched on my flashlight, its beam cutting through the gloom. The trees stood like sentinels, their branches intertwining overhead to form a canopy that blocked out the stars. I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched, a presence lurking just beyond the reach of my senses. A distant rumble echoed through the forest, low and ominous. I paused, my heart pounding in my chest, as the sound grew closer. It was the unmistakable growl of a predator, reverberating through the trees. Fear clenched at my insides, urging me to turn back, but something compelled me to press on. The forest seemed to come alive as I continued deeper into its heart. Strange whispers carried on the wind, indiscernible words that sent a shiver down my spine. The air grew heavy with a foreboding energy, as if the very atmosphere was charged with ancient curses and restless spirits. Suddenly, the path ahead split into two, offering no indication of which way to proceed. Panic gripped me as I realized I was lost in the labyrinth of the mountain forest. Every tree and rock seemed identical, disorienting my senses and playing tricks on my mind. An icy wind swept through the forest, extinguishing my flashlight and plunging me into darkness. My breath hitched as I stood in the blackness, surrounded by the sounds of rustling leaves and distant cries. Shadows danced at the periphery of my vision, their forms shifting and morphing, taunting me with their elusiveness. The forest became a maze of uncertainty, each step fraught with danger. I stumbled over roots and rocks, my heart pounding in my ears. Time lost all meaning as I wandered aimlessly, my only guide the distant flicker of a crescent moon peeking through the clouds. Just when despair threatened to consume me, I caught sight of a faint glow through the trees. A glimmer of hope ignited within me, urging me to press forward. With renewed determination, I pushed through the underbrush, following the ethereal light like a beacon in the darkness. The glow led me to a small clearing, bathed in an otherworldly radiance. In the center stood a weathered stone altar, adorned with symbols etched into its surface. The air crackled with energy, and I could sense the weight of centuries-old curses lingering in the air. Fear and fascination warred within me as I approached the altar, compelled by an invisible force. The ancient symbols seemed to pulsate with a dark power, casting an eerie glow over the clearing. Unbeknownst to me, I had stumbled upon a sacred site, a place where the veil between the living and the spirit world was dangerously thin. A gust of wind swept through the clearing, extinguishing the last remnants of my courage. Whispers filled the air, disembodied voices pleading and moaning, intertwining with the howling wind. I felt an overwhelming presence surrounding me, a collective agony etched into the very fabric of the forest. Overwhelmed by terror, I turned and fled from the clearing, the haunting echoes of the forest following me. I ran as if pursued by demons, the branches clawing at my skin, the ground threatening to swallow me whole. My breath came in ragged gasps, and my legs burned with exertion, but I dared not stop. Eventually, I burst through the edge of the forest and into the open expanse of the mountain meadows. The moon hung high in the sky, casting its gentle glow over the untouched snow. I collapsed onto the ground, trembling and gasping for air, grateful to have escaped the clutches of the mountain forest's malevolence. But the memory of that night haunts me still. The mountain forest holds secrets too dark for mortal minds to comprehend, and I shudder to think of what else lurks within its depths. I caution those who venture into its embrace, for the price of curiosity may be more than one can bear.